Welcome back to a special episode of the CCC. It's not the podcast, but it's a special thing we're doing.
It's a special. It's
yeah.
a special. It's a CCC podcast special.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll take that. Yeah, we haven't done an episode in ages, so we'll put one up under the podcast.
Fair enough. We are doing the final review of the teams before they go into playoffs. See if they improved their team, see if they made them worse, and see who changed it and who didn't change them. So far, well, you guys already know this. The scores are on the website, and we're gonna go through each of them of the ones who made it to playoffs. And yeah, do you guys got anything to say before we get started?
No, let's just get into it.
Let's get into it, man.
All right.
Well, I suppose we should do a couple of comments on the season that we've had. First of all, thank you to all the coaches that have taken part.
Yes.
Season 2 has been eventful. It's been very eventful.
Very eventful.
What can we say? It's been my format. To be honest, when we started with this format, I thought we were going to have a real problem with stall.
Yeah.
And luckily, we only have one stall team. And it's the Juggler Cove Lugias below me. So other than that, we've had some really close nail-biting battles. We've had a lot of living on 1 HP or living in the red. And I think just this format works. It just works.
Yeah, I agree.
It's old school Pokemon, so it's back to the Pokemon's roots. This is the way it was intended to be played before gimmicks. So it's always going to work.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed it, and a big thank you to everyone that's taken part, and obviously good luck for everyone that's in playoffs, apart from all of you, because I want me to be the luckiest person. So yeah, goodbye.
Yeah, as someone who sadly didn't make it to playoffs this season, the format was really fun. It was again bringing it back to Gen 5, which is, in my opinion, one of the more fun generations of watching Pokemon competitively, and it really shows just how talented every one of these coaches who made it into playoffs and the ones who didn't make it into playoffs are to use these teams that are so outside of the meta to make it work. And we've had, we have Jake and Josh who only lost one match. I mean, Jake lost one because of
I didn't
error.
lose.
Yeah, he didn't lose technically. It counted as a loss.
I lost on purpose. It was a tactical loss.
Tactical loss. But I mean, it just goes to show like the insane prep, the insane item switches, the builds, what mons are working together. I mean, we saw so many different cores of and leads this season. It was so hard to prep against your opponent because you never knew exactly what they were going to bring because they always switched it up, which is something that's really nice because you get into ladder climbing and you see the same 5-6 mons and you kind of know what they're gonna do, but then you see someone lead a freaking Indeedee and something else, and you're just like, okay, I have no idea what to do here. So let's go on and work at it. But it was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something else is that all the the D tiers and C tiers have been used way more than last season.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Which
I think I've used
was a surprise to me
twice.
I've
used mine more as bait more than anything. But yeah, I mean, I think Seb, you've almost brought yours every week.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Mime pretty much comes almost every week. It's too good not to.
I don't think we saw that season 1. I don't think we.
No.
Other than maybe a Flacky, whoever. I think Nick had the Flacky that may have come 4 or 5 times, but other than that, we didn't see a lot of D tiers, which is nice. A lot of ones that don't normally get showtime are getting showtime, and they're actually doing the work as well.
Yeah,
so you can't argue with that.
I can tell you the first time I went against the Nidoqueen, I was so surprised about the damage that thing did.
Yeah, Nidoqueen sent it. We'll delve into all these hidden gems of Pokemon that we're going to talk about when they reach playoffs. So let's just hop into it.
Yeah. So here we are, the first team, the wild card of the season, I would think. The Lilikov Lugias and Coach Kraken, which has an insane team, but he's never used it as we thought he was gonna be using it.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I see a Clefable and a Chansey. The first thing I think about is follow me minimize, right? That's the first thing that comes to my head. And I don't think we've seen him use that thing, like that strat once. So, it's interesting.
I don't think we've seen the Azumarill either. So kill leader from last season.
True.
Still up there as almost kill leader from last season as well. I think he picked up 13, 14 kills last season. Only one this season. So I don't think he's utilized the Azumarill as much as he could have done, especially with the amount of redirection that he had. Especially with the toxic stall that he had as well. Bringing in the Azumarill in the back is just, it's scary because he can dwindle down your mons into just a range where Azumarill can Oko everything. There's nothing to say that he doesn't watch this now. Kraken doesn't watch this and sweeps the rest of us in playoffs. So
maybe.
Hey, I've got to watch what I'm saying.
That is why we're saying these things. We want you to prove us wrong. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we look at Kraken's team, and he has used his team in a very different way than what a lot of people have seen. And, it goes into his favor. Sometimes it doesn't go his favor. Sometimes the opponents read it. So it's really just a matter of the fact of maybe, just a little bit of advice is just to maybe play kind of
something
like
else
how we expect it to, use. I mean, use the minimize strat, use the stall strats. I mean, you have a really good stall team that, I mean, as much as we, kind of bash on stall, and I mean, no one really wants to play stall, but it's a tactic that your team really lends itself to. And you've got, you added some offensive power with the Espeon, with, you already have that crate Dragapult. Dragapult's amazing. Love to see that come out more. I mean, we already talked about the kill leader last season of Azumarill. And then he added up the Doug Trio, which is also a really hard hitting mon and a ground type, which is what we've noticed from everyone's team this season. It has a pretty sizable weakness to ground. Most every team has a pretty solid ground weakness. So picking that up for playoffs is a pretty very smart strategy for Kraken, and he should definitely. I'm excited to see what he does with it. Hopefully, he can pull out a win and it surprises all.
Yep, that Duck Trio is also pretty fast, so that gave him pretty good speed stats. I also would like to see a Dragon Dance in Dragapult, but Tom passing into Azumarill. That sounds scary.
Or a Belly Drum Clefable or whatever. Just baton pass anything. Cosmic Power. The one thing I see with the Doug Trio, with the reason why he's picked it, is that second ability right there.
Yep.
He's got a massive stall team, and then you get Arena Trap, so you can't even get out. So good luck with the toxic stall.
Yep.
Luckily, this thing is paper frail, so you're only going to get like 2 turns of toxic before you can swap out. But that might be enough for an Azumarill
maybe that's
to take
enough.
you out.
We'll see. Good luck to Kraken. Good luck on the, I think he battles. Who does he battle first?
He battles Jack.
Jack. Oh boy.
Jack.
Okay.
He's battling the Lepton Litwicks. He's got his work cut out for him because if he's got Jack and he beats Jack, he's got Scott.
Oh God.
Yep. All right. Well.
Okay.
Here we have Josh's team with the Juvenile City Jirachis, and we were just mentioning this. I think the trades make the team a little weaker. So
he's made one trade all season. Coming in, 2 days ago?
Yep.
My man swapped the Araquanid for the Crocodile. Now, Josh might have something else in mind, and I've never seen him use a Croc before, but I've seen him use a Araquanid before, and that wasn't the nicest thing to watch from my perspective anyway, because that thing was nuts. It was nuts. And when I prepped for Josh's team last week, the main standout was it was a flying type weakness. Now, when you add this Crocodile, it opens up a lot of holes, in my opinion. But like Josh says to me when we've been talking, there's very few scenarios where you don't just bring the top 4.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
But yeah, that's all I've got to say on Josh, really. That there's very few scenarios where you don't pick Wim, Marowak, Indeedee, Hawlucha, and just let it go.
Yeah, definitely agree. I mean, like you said, I mean, the top 4 is like I mean, I gave it a 9. I think Nick gave it a 9.5. I mean, it is. We're comparing not only the team but the player, and we all know how amazing of a player Josh is, and the fact that he's got these really 4 mods, and the fact that he can only has to bring those for months and can still like be a headache for a lot of people, he has to, make sure like you still have to worry about now you have that Ditto, which we haven't seen too much Ditto strats yet, and I would not put it past Josh to start using those strats to confuse the opponents because they're so used to seeing those, like Jake said, those top fours. I mean, he has an amazing team to balance out those top fours. Yeah, why would you pick something else when the top four works so well? But it's playoff time. It's time to start using these mons in the way. And I mean, Josh definitely will find a way to make this very tricky. And I'm just calling Ditto shenanigans now.
Yep.
I'm
I
calling
could
it. I'm calling
yeah, I
Ditto
want to see that
shenanigans.
Ditto come out for sure. I'm a little sad the Araquanid goes down. I was really a fan of this team, like this Trick Room team with Araquanid and Marowak, but Marowak has done a bunch of work during the season. I think it's almost up there with the amount of kills they've gotten. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Josh just takes this all the way to semifinals, because I'll beat him in the semifinals, you know?
Hey.
You have to say no. If I had to put my money on someone, I think Josh this season. If
Yep.
he puts the effort in, that if he gets the time, obviously because he's a very busy man. But if he definitely gets the time to focus on the league, I think he's got the run on his
Yeah,
side
for
of the
sure.
bracket that would actually favor this team as well. I don't think coming up like the Mahogany Town Talonflames and the South Carolina Luxuries, I don't think they've got many answers to this.
It's gonna be. I mean, we'll see. We'll see, right?
You are the
Because if you
I think
see
Seb's the
Josh's
biggest force that can
wait,
stop
sorry.
this. I think you are the biggest force that you can stop this. Oh, look, here you are. Yeah, I think you are the. I mean, what can we say about this team? It's a hard Josh counter. It's
It
literally
is.
a hard Josh counter.
Yep.
Hopefully.
I mean, it is. I mean, like Jake said, this team, there's a reason why it's so highly. I gave it the highest rating because I prepped with this team a lot, and I know kind of the ins and outs of this team. And despite that, playing when I had to fight Seb, he did some crazy things I was not expecting, and it worked so well. So I can only imagine what type of things Seb will pull out against anyone, because he's on the warpath, because season one
Oh
of
yeah.
CCC wasn't like, he didn't like his team, he really didn't like the vibe of it all. Like, he's on the warpath, man, and I will never forget when he turned that switch on against Scott and absolutely battered that team, and I was like, oh my god, Seb is watch out playoffs, because Seb is coming for blood, and his team is adding the Klepke solves so many problems. And it's it has it's such a great utility. And then
It does.
you got a Dragon Knight with Marvel skill. You got Cinderace, who can pretty much be whatever the heck you want it to be. You got Primarina, who's basically just a Tapu Fini but watered down a little bit. And I mean, it's insane how good this team is. So, and you can't forget about that one little D tier that you have brought every single week. That freaking Mr. Mime, dude, who, in my opinion, we need to bump that bad boy up, because he's a force to be reckoned
He's
with.
getting there. He's getting there.
I
He's
love mine, man.
putting the case in. Seb's putting the case in to get some stuff promoted up in the tiers. I feel like I'm the guy that gets the stuff promoted, but I don't think my stuff can't get promoted anymore. The good stuff that I've picked is already at the higher level. One thing I am going to make a point of is
Yeah.
having to deal with it last season. None of that stuff matters. The Galvantula is the worst, single-handedly the worst thing to prep for on the team. And I will, anyone that's watching this video, you'll thank me later, because if you have to kill the Galvantula first, that thing will hinder your whole team. If it's webs, if it's struggle bug, if it's rage, I don't think it gets rage powder, but it gets
No, it
something. It's
doesn't.
got compound eyes, so
Yep.
it's does it get spore or something? It might get sleep powder, or it gets some of the stun spore. It can paralyze your whole team. It's when
Scary.
I had to.
It's a force.
K Mega had this in the final, right? And he brought Mold Breaker, Excadrill,
Yeah.
and then Strugglebug, Galvantula. Literally, special attack down, smash it with a ground move. It's the Galvantula for me is mastermind pickup.
It's a lot.
Absolutely mastermind pickup.
So I was really happy with my team. And then I was noticing my C tiers were really situational. I wasn't really using them as much. I used them, but were really situational, which is not bad. It's really nice to have those Pokemons if you do encounter that situation. But I felt like I just needed something that had a little more coverage. I was a little bit more supported, and I was going up and down that C tier list, and all of a sudden I just see Galvantula staring at my face. It's like, wait, why is this available? And then, you just check its moveset. It gets sticky webs, 100% accurate thunders. Well, all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
So
that's it, yeah.
Yeah. So it also gets like a bunch of grass type moves, and it's really nice. It's really nice mon to have, and hopefully I could use it in the playoffs.
And Unnerve as well. Unnerve is brilliant. You don't understand how much pressure Unnerve puts on until you have an Unnerve mon on your team. It's like Aerodactyl has done me wonders. I don't think anyone's brought a berry versing me.
Mm-hmm.
Berries can.
Yeah,
it's the thing between life and death. It's like
sure.
you can make a roll. You can make a roll by a berry and then hit something harder. So yeah, mastermind pickup, Seb. Absolutely. But I'll never forgive you for dropping that Hitmontop when I asked you.
Such a good mom, man. You would have loved using it, Jake.
All right.
Here we go.
And here we got.
What about this team?
I think my new favorite team in playoffs. I think so. I think Joel has 100%. Made some trades to bump up his team so well. Like, so well. That Corviknight in the rain, that's nothing gonna kill it. There's nothing that's gonna kill it. I mean, yeah, it's weak to electric, but it still takes a hit, man. We saw how good it was against Crystal. Crystal went with a fire punch in the sun, and I was doing like a quarter to Corviknight. So holy moly, This is a team. Be scared of it. Oh my god. Also, Scolipede. Holy moly! I never thought I was gonna like Scolipede in a team, but Joel has used Scolipede in such a way that I was like, okay, now I understand why this thing could be good. But yeah,
man.
Yeah, just to put the trades into perspective, so he the first free agent trade we had on the break week, he traded out Komodo for he traded out the Porygon Z for the Corviknight.
Yeah.
So in my mind, that is an instant win. But then he traded the Komodo out for the Scizor, and then it's just rounded the whole team out. It has literally rounded the whole team. Obviously, the only one thing that I see that he's struggling with is the Dark type. I've got the same problem, but he's got a couple of weaknesses as well, where everything hits neutral. And when you're trying to fill a move slot and you just look down, it's like, right, what can I hit everything with for consistent damage? This is what me and Jack talk about all the time. It's like this format is all about consistent damage. So if you've got one of those columns that's got no resistances or no immunities or nothing to think about, it's instantly just bang, right, put that column in. And what is that next to? Is that Ghost as well? Only one.
You got Ghost, Dark, and Rock with no resistances.
Yeah, so there are openings there for consistent damage. Obviously, super effective is always nice, but that's the only downsides I see to this team. The Scizor will thrive next to the Pelipper at all times. Barring like a weather setter, if he's like, but he's got the Prankster Meowstic as well. He's got a lot of fake out pressure as well, so it's just overall really nice team. He's on my side of the bracket, so if Kanto doesn't deal with him, I'm gonna have to deal with him. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm really not looking forward to it.
I battled him once,
he's a pain,
and I don't want to battle him again. So
he's a pain,
I'm coming up against my baby Lola, the Corsola Galar.
Which I don't think he's brought.
And
right?
He brought.
I've seen it once.
No,
I've seen
he
it
brought
once.
it game one.
Oh yeah,
I
game
remember
one
that.
he did. Yep,
I remember
I
game
remember.
one. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. What can I not say about Joel as a battler and how he's really just put on like he literally just flipped a switch these last two games and just played so consistently well. It was just like he kind of has that he had that Kanto vibe from last season where he kind of like things were like things weren't going the right way. He would win some games, he won it, and then he just got it. The
Yep.
team just kind of fell into place. And like Jake, you were saying with getting these trades, the Scizor is a great addition. Corviknight's a beefy boy, and that freaking bug, dude. I cannot get over how. I mean, me and Seb have done commentary on Joel's games a lot, and
Yep.
every time we see that bug, we are surprised by what this bug is trying to do because this is a swords dancing a speed boosting bug that hits like a freaking Uber, and it's unfair. It's just like the way you deal with the bug is you kill it so it doesn't get speed boost, and that's really about it. Because if it gets speed boost, it's done. It's just hitting you for so much damage, and then he's got the freaking meow stick, which is, in my opinion, everyone's saying doesn't have the best prankster, but dude, that in my opinion
No,
it's the best one. It's
I
the best
think
one,
I
period. It's
I think
so
Meowstick is
good.
probably the best prankster in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe Lipard. It's coming
Lipard.
up against Lipard.
I mean,
It got a bit more bulk than Lipard, possibly. Yeah.
yeah, it does. It's got better typing overall, and the thing is, it's a little bit. It can be used offensively too, as well as with
Yeah.
that prankster, which is it's crazy how that Meowstick is gonna. We're gonna see a lot of that Meowstick that causing trouble, and then the rain, man. The
Oh
rain
yeah.
I've
on
just seen
this
as well, bro.
team.
He's got
It's
lightning rod.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
He's
so I didn't even realize
He's
that.
fine. He's
Yeah.
fine.
He could
I mean, he's
remove
gonna do great.
Corviknight's
One
weaknesses
comment.
pretty much completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that Nick has said. So I've got some notes from Nick. Obviously he can't be here tonight. My man's working every hour under the sun. But he has said it is his. He, as you notice, he's giving it a 9. And he said it's his favorite team in the CCC season 2, and he's a massive fan of Corviknight. So I
All
mean,
right.
it just goes to show that I think the team synergy in this team is
It's
unbelievable.
pretty
And
good.
hats off
It's
to
really
Joel.
good.
He's a wonderful guy as well, and I love watching his matches. They're so entertaining, and a massive addition to the league. Hope
Yeah.
he stays because I like
Yep.
his logo as well.
Oh yeah. He has an amazing logo. Joel's great, man. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what he does. I'm really happy that he's done so well in the league. It's always fun when you have new people come in the league that find success, and
Yeah.
so it's awesome that he's made it to playoffs, and I think he's going to go far. I think we'll be surprised by what Joel's capable of doing in the
Mhm.
playoffs.
And here we got the next team with which before we get into it, huge thanks for Crystal to joining. She was replaced another coach that wasn't able to continue. So thank you so much. That way our side of the bracket didn't go like bonkers. Well, it did a little
Yeah.
bit, but it's all good.
It's fine.
And then she had this team, which let me tell you, I was so surprised about Cloister and Mega Launcher. I didn't know how strong that thing could be.
Yeah,
I-
it's one of those. What is it? Is it like Escavalier? It's one of those where it's like you don't think about it until you actually look at it and you go, oh wait, hang on, this
Or
is
you
this
Yep.
isn't good.
or if you don't look into it and then it dark pulses you and you're like, oh, that gets that move. Oh,
Yep.
it has Mega Launcher. Oh, I'm dead. Okay. Um,
Nice.
I mean, in the two matches we've seen from Crystal, man, she has played amazingly. I mean, she absolutely obliterated me, and I brought a wonky team, which I feel like not a lot of people, when you see it, wouldn't know exactly what to do with it. But she
Yeah.
completely went to town, beat me down, and then she had a really crazy good, like, interesting match with Joel. And then she's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like, we know her from last season, but her team's still kind of a mystery because we've only seen it 2 times, unfortunately. So I'm definitely curious to see what she's gonna do in playoffs.
Yeah, I was kind of confused as coming into playoffs. She's traded out that Nidoqueen for the Rotom Fan. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what she was trying to cover here. Um, I'm trying to think of like where are the gaps in her team where she might have wanted to pick up an electric type. I mean, barring the Pikachu, obviously, Pikachu is very situational. It can be really good, but it can also be really bad at the same time. But I think she doesn't really need the electric type coverage. She's got flying with the Talonflame. The Nidoqueen does get Thunderbolt. Um,
Yeah,
and it's
and
got Sheer
ground is
Force.
too powerful. I feel like.
Yeah,
Um,
like
but
maybe she was covering some weaknesses. Obviously, like the Rotom fan has got only rock and ice,
yeah,
so maybe it was a weakness thing that she was worried about. I'm just a bit confused because that Nidoqueen was just a main powerhouse. Like I'm not hitting on Metagross as like a bad Pokemon because it's really not. It's bro,
no, it's
it's
great.
big. It's
It's
big.
amazing.
But it's other than that. I mean, the Talonflame is. I assume is there for Tailwind, but we've seen it with what is it? The beak item, Sharp Beak,
Oh yeah, Shark
Brave
Beak.
Bird.
Hmm.
It's just it's one fake out away from non-pranks to Tailwind, if you know what I mean. You know, with the Gale
Yeah,
Wings. But I've never seen the Aromatisse in action, and I know she's been using that a lot.
Aromatisse is quite bulky. I was also
Very
surprised by
bulky.
Aromatisse. It's like super slow,
Um,
but I think it also could put Trick Room in
Gets
and
trick.
stuff like that if she
Yeah.
really wants to. Which works
and
well
then
with Metagross. So
Hmm.
if she doesn't want
yeah,
to go for
yeah,
Tailwind, she'll go for Trick Room and maybe do something. Lycanroc
it works
also
both
with the
ways.
SL Rock is really strong. So um, I want to see
But no,
what she does. You know, with this team.
yeah,
I'm really curious.
I think she's got a good run. Obviously, with her coming late, I don't think she had the full pick of a team that she really wanted.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Given that she came halfway through the league, so a lot of the good mons were already sniped. So she had to pick from what effectively was scraps and a team
yeah,
that the other Crystal had built, which may not suit her playstyle. I think she's done quite well. We'll see what
yeah,
happens in playoffs. She's had we've had 7 games to get used to our team. She's had 2. She might pick up the ball rolling, or she might just flatline. But it's a credit to her for making playoffs,
yeah,
and
for
for
sure.
coming in at such short notice.
Yeah,
And yeah, overall 8. I don't think Nick got anything for her. Nick said less synergy as before with the trades, but still very good.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's solid 8 for me. Solid 8. Oh, look, it's
And
me. I can't talk about me.
Hey.
and
Well,
then we got what?
oh my, I was gonna say something, and then you
We've
started
got the B
talking, and I
tier.
froze.
We've got the B tier juggler. This is what I call myself, the B tier juggler.
Yeah,
Hey.
I mean, look at Jake, man. He's trading in that Lapras, which I
Woo!
was so surprised about. But hey, it's I mean, he's got a plan for it, and your team is just a monster. Like the Volcarona, I've always been a fan of. That Mimikyu that you traded in against Jack was an amazing trade,
Just,
and
just want to make the point. Just want to make the point that if I hadn't have shot myself in the foot with Brandon, Mimikyu would have been 9-0 in the
oh,
regular
that's
season.
right.
It hasn't died. It it hasn't died.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And I really like this team. Like you got the Clang Clang now, which if you it could go for another Trick Room setter if you wanted to. The Electivire, or as always, you could follow me using it. They can with that freaking it just hits so hard.
He's
Just
my
hits
weather
so hard.
setter. Leroy is my weather setter.
And
He's
that's
the
the
best weather
crazy
setter in the
thing.
game.
Oh my god.
Oh
Um,
man.
and yeah, I haven't seen the Charger bug yet. A little bit disappointed. I'm a little bit disappointed.
I've tried, guys. I've tried every week. I'm not gonna lie. In practice, I've brought it every week. Um, if I if I was in a position where I'd have qualified for playoffs,
Yeah,
but couldn't do season champion, I'd have brought it for the fun.
fair
But
enough.
there was every possibility that I could have finished first with regular season champion, and I really wanted that. Um, but no, I mean, my team, it's great. I've done a lot of BTA juggling, so my trades have all been apart from my team trades, obviously, all
Yeah.
my free trades have been in that B tier slot. So I had Swampert, then I went to Persimmon, then I went to Ludicolo, and now I've come to Lapras. And I don't know if it's because I came up with the trade system, I know how to use it well, which is probably the case. But I've used that slot to draft what I need for the next games.
Fair.
And Lapras, I've looked through the potential matchups of what I'm expecting, and Lapras is almost a bring in every week, and it's just general bulk. I feel like I was missing some physical bulk. I've got a lot of special, not a lot of physical, so Lapras can do both.
Yeah.
But no, I'm like I say, I'm more than happy with my team. I don't know how I drafted it at pick 7.
Hey,
It's beyond me, but I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain, and I'm going to give it my best shot in playoffs. Playoffs is just take every game as it
Yep.
can. Don't have an Entei this time, unfortunately. We have a Volcarona, so it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
got
you
the
don't have to
Lapras,
play week
man.
1 of playoffs either, because you got the
Hey.
bye. So
But hey, technically I got a bye last season, but we won't talk about that. But I feel like it's more of an advantage if you play your first week.
Oh yeah.
You can get some sort of momentum going.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
Nick has always said to me that he felt that he had a bit of like cold feet going into playoffs because you get like a week break, so you don't really think about it, and then you come back in and you're not in the swing of things.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, Jake, your team's amazing. I can't say enough about it, man.
I love it.
I mean, I love it, man. It's super good. I mean, you've played it again. You didn't lose a match this season. The only reason why you have one loss is because you made it which is, it happens to the best of us. But it's just, I mean, your team is so good. The fact that you didn't bring the bug again, I was gonna reiterate on that with Seb. I'm heartbroken. I haven't seen it.
Yep.
So I'm hoping you make finals and you just bring it just because you have to. But I mean the Volcarona and the Mimikyu, I can't say enough about. I mean, the fact that you have, in my opinion, the best Tailwind setter in Aerodactyl is insane. And the fact that you haven't really used Tailwind all that much this season, with Aerodactyl, that that's still a possibility that you could see using in the future just to get that extra speed, because your team is relatively speedy as it already is. And then I love the Kangaskhan. Can't talk more enough about the best weather setter, better than Ninetales, who sets the weather when it comes out. I mean, the Kangaskhan, you've done the Jake strats that we all know and love, and have somehow made Kangaskhan the best a weather setter and not what it's mainly used for. So hats off to you, and congrats on the bye. And it's gonna be, your team is definitely one to watch out for, and then just your growth as a player, man. I, as someone who remembers you saying, "I'll be happy if I get one win," to becoming the champion, to going undefeated this season.
Yeah.
It's just like, you've grown so much, and I cannot wait. I mean, honestly, I know you'll never do ladder, like, seriously, but if you ever put in the time to do ladder, man, you'd be going down the road to Worlds this season, man.
Yep, probably,
I
man.
will. I definitely will. I need to round out my game a bit more. I am really liking the battling. I am. One stat I did look at was I went and looked back at when was the last time I actually lost. And I'm currently on, minus Brandon, I'm currently on a 10 win streak. So I'll take that. I'll take
God.
that.
Wow.
The new catch line will be, if you do go to finals again, who will give Jake his first actual loss on the CCC? It's gonna be the running gag.
God.
You're gonna be the New England Patriots of the CCC, man.
If I make it to the finals, I make it to the finals. But I would love to see the trophy in someone else's hands. I honestly would. It's a win-win to me.
It'd be great.
Congratulations, Jake. You've done great, and I'm really happy too.
Thank you.
So, hold on.
And then we've got. I bet the video heard it. Now we've got Seb's opponent, and I'd like to hear your point of view on this, Seb, because you've got this.
I have this literally next week, and I was scared a little bit. I've got a couple ideas. I'm not gonna mention anything because Brandon for sure
Yeah.
gonna watch this. But I've got a couple ideas, and I think I can handle this team pretty good, maybe.
I can see some gaps. I can see some gaps. Luke, do you want to put your pitch in, and then I'll
Yeah,
explain.
yeah.
I've played this team fairly recently, so I can give you my experience.
Yeah,
Of
I mean,
playing
yeah,
it.
definitely. I'll need to lean on you on that one because I did not battle Brandon this year, and we got to do one commentary match for him,
Yeah,
and
I
it
know.
wasn't the best showing. It wasn't the best showing for his team, but I mean, again, this is how I would explain how Brandon, his team, it definitely has gaps on it, but Brandon knows his mons and how to use them the way that you should use them and how to use them the branded way, which is where you get, you know, really random strats that you just, you scratch your head at, but when they work, then you're like, oh my god, because that's the thing, like you've got to prep for not what you expect but what you think Brandon will
Yeah.
do. And that's definitely, and Seb, I mean, you've been battling Brandon, for months when you were doing a lot of your viewer battles. So I mean, Brandon is a battler, but as someone who only battled Brandon a couple of times, he definitely has thrown me for a loop, man. Like the first, he kind of has a game one advantage because you just kind of don't know what he's gonna do. And I think this could lend to his strength. I think he's got a really, and he's got a powerful team. He has the Dracozolt Gigalith, which is, I mean, as much as we haven't seen it this season from him, it's
It's
still there.
scary.
I mean, Seb, yeah, I mean, so you have the Primarina, so you can deal with the Gigalith just fine. But I mean, you've got the Chandelure, which is just a special hard hitting, insane mon, and then you've got Cryogonal, which for some reason is like a really good Pokemon, and Brandon loves his Mandibuzz, and you've definitely got some interesting mons here,
Oh
and
yeah.
Brandon definitely knows how to use them. But it's just, my biggest issue with this team is the synergy. He's got great individual mons and he knows how to use them really well individually. Now we're using them as a core, haven't seen too much success with, but Jake, I'll throw it over to you because you've battled this team. And
Yeah.
what are your opinions on this team and just as this of this team as a whole?
So this team's changed a little bit from when I played it. Obviously, he's traded in the Sneasel for the
Yeah.
Doublade, but he never bought the Doublade, and I was never really prepped for the Doublade because I didn't expect it to come anyway. One thing I will say that playing against Hippo 3 times in the past 2 seasons, Gigalith is worse. Gigalith is way worse because Gigalith
Mhm.
gets the special defense boost from the sand plus an assault vest. You think you can whack it with a water move? It's not moving. It's not moving. Like that thing will not move.
Set the
You
rain
can't
up.
hit it physical because it's got massive. It's set the rain. Yeah, set the rain. What did I do? I took the weather off him. I set sun.
Yep.
um, Gigalith Dracozolt, obviously, I've played this before twice against K Mega last season. It's not a nice pairing to come up with. The thing is with Brandon's team, right? You can look at it and move selection's really easy. Move selection is really easy. You look at the bottom, it's like right, he's got a 4 times to what's that rock, straight right rock slide, straight on rock slide. No resistances, no immunities, only weakness, rock slide. So your move pool's fine. It's then selecting the moves to get it right.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mighty, he lost game one to me from a misplay where he protected the Gigalith when he shouldn't have, which we all misplay. It's like you
Yeah.
can't help that. It's like if you misread an attack going into a Gigalith and I attack the Cryogonal instead. He misplayed. Second game, I just cyberbullied him into Rock Slide flinches, and I think I got like 7 out of 10 times I clicked Rock Slide and I didn't miss once. it was great. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Obviously Brandon didn't.
Yeah.
But obviously he's got the part of the Sand team now. It's the Porygon 2 is to me, if he'd have not took the Sneasel and
Yeah.
got rid of the Porygon instead and picked some sort of synergy, like the drill's there. The Excadrill came out. If I was Brandon, I'd be looking at not picking up that Sneasel and just going Excadrill.
Oh,
Excadrill,
Excadrill would
Dracozolt,
have been a
Gigalith, Mandibuzz.
great pick here
Um,
for sure.
he would have. That's all K Mega's team, and you know that it works because he went to the final. Like people can't prep for that other than Prankster Rain. I mean,
Yeah,
K Mega had the benefit of Max Rockfall, which sets us out.
that's true.
Um,
Yeah,
and then once you've got past that Sancor, you've got a Rotom Moat and a Chandelure to deal with. And we all know a Chandelure, if it's choice specs, it's gonna Oko anything.
yeah.
Well, almost Oko anything. So yeah, my big pet peeve with this is the Porygon, because he's not really using it for Trick Room. I mean, it can work in Trick Room. The team works in Trick Room, but he's not really using it the way he should,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
We shall see.
I
Maybe
feel like
he
if he was,
surprises me with
yeah,
some stuff, you know? You never know.
I feel like he'd have benefited more from a Porygon Z instead of a Porygon 2. But
Oh, yeah,
hey
that too.
ho, Brandon, you've got to make the run. You've got to make the run now,
Yep.
my boy. Sensei,
That's
bear
right.
me
Yeah.
good luck.
Uh,
My master has yeah, I believe he'll come through. I wish I could meet him in the final. If it's me and Brandon in the final, then oh boy, it's gonna be a tasty one. I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
rock slide him again.
And then we got
Oh
Mr.
my
Jack
partner in crime.
and the Lepton
Oh.
Litwicks and the scariest speed control team you're ever gonna find in this league. And now with a
Barring
cool Mr. Rhyme. Holy moly.
Now he's got fake out. This is scary. Now
Yeah.
he's got fake out. This is scary. Now he's got literal offensive pressure. What it's amazing to think that I was telling Jack a few weeks ago that even with a Blaziken and a Dracovish, you have got no offensive pressure. First turn,
Yeah, fair.
like your first turn, you haven't got offensive pressure. Now he has. Now he can get the fake out off. He's got the Mr. Rhyme. He's got a bit of water coverage now in terms of freeze dry. Mr. Rhyme's just generally good. We've all seen the double sweeps, man. I mean, shame it still haunts her nightmares. And then just having the ability, well, just having he hasn't relied on the Dracovish, and this is what Nick has said. For finally has fake out, like it more now it's been used, and he's not relied on the Dracovish, and which is a massive point. The fact that he's got the heaviest hitter in the league by far,
Yeah,
and he's not relied on it as much as he should do.
I agree. Yeah.
I feel now. I think in playoffs the Dracovish will come into its own.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, you got it. Like, I mean, Dragovich, like, if you don't prep for it and he brings it, then you just lose. That's what it is. So you kind of have to have an answer for it. But then the Blaziken is too good with that speed boost, as well as that steadfast double. It's too good. Like, it pretty much is gonna be outspeed anything after a +1. And if he's really in trouble, he'll just bring that colony and tailwind or do something like that. The amount of speed this team has is a little bit crazy. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do for the rest of the the league.
This
I know
is
Jack's
definitely
trying to push for the. Sorry, Luke. Just before
Go
you
ahead.
come in, it's like I know he's trying to make the case that Rotom Heat is worthy, but
Mhm.
it's not, and it's not Calgon. So Jack, sit down.
nothing will ever be Calgon. All right, that is the bet. That is the meme of the CCC because we love our Calgon. If the CCC could have a mascot, it's gonna. I mean, it's Regigigas, but like it is the
Let's go
freaking
to season 2. I should have just replaced the Gigas
with
the
Yeah,
Calgon.
with the Calgon.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I love Brandon as a battle. Not Brandon. No, Jack as a battler, and I love Brandon as a battler too. But I really like Jack. I really love Jack as a battler, man. Every time I battle him, I have a lot of fun. He always kind of pushes me because you kind of yet like the speed control. Leave it to Jack to be the team that was relying on all this speed control. He knows how because it's a hard thing to keep track of while you're playing, which is the thing I'm kind of reiterating on is the fact like me, I could never be like a speed control person or trick room and tailwind because I'm like I would lose track or would someone could hit tailwind and count like negate it and I don't even know
Yeah,
how all that
fair
stuff
enough.
works. You know, it's a whole thing. But I mean, he's got so much. He's got so much speed control, and it's definitely a thing that you have to keep in factor of while you're playing at all times, because you know you might be make sure you hit that button on your controller so you can see how much turn of tailwind and
Yep.
trick room you have left. Because if you think you're on turn 5 and you're on turn 4 and you misplayed, that's all Jack needs. And there's one mon you guys did not mention, which
Tell
is one of
me.
my favorite Pokemon. It is the Umbreon.
Oh,
Um,
that's right.
we
Yeah,
haven't
Umbreon.
seen the Umbreon used the way I thought it was going to be used until we played Nick. And Nick hates Umbreon now because I mean you can literally be the most toxic player with Umbreon. And then Jackson, I was like, he's gonna do it. He hadn't done it until he did Nick. And man, you have to keep your eyes out on that,
Yep.
because not only does he have the speed control, not only does he have the Dracovish, which I agree is you're gonna see a little bit more of for sure in playoffs. Um and the fake out with the Mr. Mime. He's got a legitimate toxic heal up. Like if he's in a pinch, man, that's it's gonna be he's gonna be the most frustrating player to play,
I agree.
because he's just gonna be frustrating. He's gonna frustrate you. And man, I can't gush enough about that team because it's so good. And Jack is literally going to have so much fun trying to use this team and trying to get it to finals, which will be interesting. Now, Jake, I have to ask you this: would you have to face Jack in finals? Would we have to have a
No,
repeat?
it would be semis. It would be
Yep.
semis if anything.
Oh,
So he has to get through Scott first. He's got Kraken, then Scott, and then I have to get through either Cantor or Joel, and then we'd meet in the semis.
oh
All right.
man, what a
Now, one thing he has done is he picked up the Rotom Heat, which
Oh.
resists Fairy, so you won't see. It's all right, so you don't have to go back. You won't see a Mimikyu sweep that time. He learned his lesson.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
speak of the
now
devil.
talking about Scott, which let me tell you, I was going against this team. The scariest thing on his team was that Nidoking. I had no answer for that Nidoking. And right before he was about to battle me, he traded it out for a Weezing.
Regigiga shone down on set.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I had a chance against his team. But that Barraskewda is proven a problem every season, and it's going up a tier every season, and now it's an S tier because you know it's a force. It's a huge force, especially with the amount of fake out users he's got. It's incredible, and he's probably has almost all of them in every tier. um I did score him a little bit lower because I do think his trades made the team a little bit worse. I understand the Marowak for the Barraskewda and stuff like that, but Barraskewda is really just dying to almost anything. Is not that good defensive wise. But hey, the Serena canceling all priority moves as well is really good. Serena's been also putting in the work almost for a little bit, almost getting the kill leader or like staying up there for a little bit. But yeah, man, this team is just too crazy. The amount of like they got the Rita with the shadow tag, he could trick room with almost all, like when they got the Rita, Jinx, the Mr. Mime. So he's got answers to stuff. So we'll see how Scott does, and I'm kind of glad I don't have to face him again until he goes into the finals if we make it through. But this team was a little bit. It was definitely hard to prep. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a headache to prep for, man. Like the fact that you have to expect fake out on every mon. The fact that he's got access to weather moves, like rain dance on the
Yep.
Barraskewda, which I will never forgive myself forever for not thinking he would never do that. But it's Scott. You give Scott prep, he's gonna do something insane. The fact that he has brought so many different Incineroars each
Yep.
week, again, it proves why Incineroar is the S tier that it is, because it is literally the Batman utility belt. You can make it however you want. And I mean, it's definitely a headache. You always have the prep for Incineroar. And then the again, Mr. Mime can't an amazing D tier pick. You gotta always worry about the Goth because you won't be able to switch out if it's Shadow Tag. The Marowak can hit really hard. The Serena has staying power and can hit really hard. Gets rid of that priority. So if he's really worried about priority, you having priority, he's just gonna send out Serena to stop that. I mean, Scott has an amazing team, and he's because you kind of just don't know what he's going to do, because as much as you will say, oh, he might do Trick Room this week, he won't do Trick Room. Oh, this mon's for sure having Fake Out. This mon is actually a physical attacker this week.
Just
I
don't
mean,
forget.
Life Orb Mr. Mime.
Yeah, yep, exactly. I was exactly what I was gonna say.
The
Life Orb Mr. Mime.
We commentated on that match with the Life Orb Mr. Mime, and I mean that just shows you, man, the powers of the D tiers and C tiers like being mainstays in each team, and so universally beneficial to have these mods in a non-Dynamax format is insane. And Scott, I still think Scott's still my favorite to win it all, and I think as long as he's running to Seb, I think he might have it. He might
Oh
have
my
this because
God.
it's still an amazing team.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's good. I mean, Nick said, what has he said about Scott? Should have never traded the wheezing. Takes away the fear factor, but still an amazing team. I mean, the wheezing was like a critical factor in this team. I think. Like there are some of his mons that don't need the abilities, and taking away some is nice. And especially like the swapping between neutralizing gas, having
Yep.
it and then not having it, and then not it really confuses your opponent to a point where
Also
it's like,
activating Intimidate more than once.
Yeah, oh my God.
So when I
Don't
was
get me started.
originally prepping for season 2, my plan was to draft Incineroar or Wheezing. And he had it. He had it in his team.
Yeah.
But I think he got scared after he battled me and he just traded the Wheezing out. So
I'm glad he did, because it made my life a lot easier when I wanted to use my weather. But I
Yep.
mean, he still got the win. But it definitely gets rid of that factor of you relying on your abilities. For your turn 1 abilities, it just neutralizes it, man, and that's definitely not the best trade for him. So we shall see what he does. Also, I just want to point out one more mod on his team, the Machamp. Now, I personally did not have to battle it myself, but the fact that it has no guard, dynamic punch, that's just unreally strong. It's got wide guard. It's got guts. I mean, don't sleep on Machamp. Machamp is definitely going to come. It's coming, and Scott's going to bring it. And I just love this Machamp on his team. I think it really just kind of prevents the whole, let's go on and use spread. Nope, there's a Machamp on the field, which I think is what a lot of people are going to rely on, because everyone likes their heat waves, and you're not heat waving nothing against this Machamp.
All right, and then I've got my nemesis next. Good old Master Phoenix and the Swansea Salamanders. And look at his team. He looks like he pivoted all the way back to a sand team, kind of.
I'm not sure. This confuses me. Me. Like, I had Phoenix as my top performer, and I still do. That man has no one to prep with. He does his own team building. He does his own prep, and the fact that he got a bye in the top division is like kudos to him, man.
Good
like,
on him,
Phoenix
man.
by far has been my top performer in the whole league. But why the man got rid of the Excadrill?
Yeah, I don't agree on that one.
Tyranitar, I am bewildered.
I mean, I get it, because Weakness Policy Tyranitar with Quick Attack Sylveon is a thing. I get it, and that could be a menace if he sets up like the Trick Room or something like that. I know he really likes Orbeetle, and that's another one of his good team members. So I could see him really doing some work like that way, It's just like the 4 times fighting weakness onto Tyranitar, and just having a fairy weakness, I think it's always not the best.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his bottom row, and it's not brilliant. It's not brilliant. There's not a lot of green there. But there are. Well, the thing is, he killed his most OP strat. He did it against Jack. He ran round Porygon Z, Sylveon,
Oh yeah.
Jolteon, and I mean, that's all you needed to OHKO every single team in the CCC. Why ever change that? I'm unsure. Unless Tyranitar
Well,
gets
Jolteon
round for
still
whatever
gets round,
reason.
right? So he could still do the
Yeah,
round
so you could
stuff.
do the Jolteon Sylveon. The Jolteon, in my opinion, is way better with Weather Ball. You throw it out with the Hippowdon, and it gets a Weather Ball, Rock type Weather Ball. That generally rips through teams because most teams have a Rock type weakness.
Yeah.
But I mean, he has got really good synergy. It's just he's got it in the Mons where it really counts. So like a Torracat, it really needs to be an Incineroar in my eyes.
Yeah.
It's like even with the EVLI, it's still not there. The Cradily is great. The Riolu, not a big fan. I never have been a big fan. The Tyranitar needs to be an Excadrill.
Yeah, I feel like he lost a lot of his speed momentum with his straights, which now
Yeah, to me, this is a full Trick Room
Trick
team,
Room.
and if he doesn't get it off, then it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
It's at a cost of a turn. It's really hard. Like you could feint and then fighting type move the Tyranitar. So if it protects, it's not going to protect, and then you get in a fighting type move and Tyranitar dies. Then if the Trick Room goes up, then it's like you're just playing like a stall war for 5
Yeah.
turns, and then you're back in control again. It's really hard. It's really hard. The Jolteon was a great pickup though. The Jolteon made his team. It's just I feel like the S tier could have been used a bit better. I mean,
Better,
I
yeah.
used Tyranitar for one. I used Tyranitar for one game with DMAX. It was okay. It wasn't brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weaknesses.
Yeah,
It's-
that's the
that's rough. That's rough.
the downside of
it's
it.
It's not the prettiest looking graph for sure, but as like Jake mentioned, I mean, let's be real. Phoenix has said on multiple occasions he does not like his team at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't, and the fact that you could still be so down on your team for the way it is, and somehow again, like Jake said, get that by, and with Mons that you're not too sure. Like I honestly, I get why you're not too hot on Riolu, but like when it works, it works. Like it has it has a gimmick, and when it works, it really works. And I think it could. Could you imagine coaching weakness policy on top? That thing's killing. That Tyranitar is killing
Yeah.
everything.
Well, Riolu gets Vacuum Wave as well, right? So you could trigger weakness policy that way.
Yeah, I mean, and the Torracat's great, and I love the Torracat. I mean, I agree. I wishes it was an Incineroar, but that's why it's got Eviolite.
Yeah.
I want to see that apple pie though, man.
Oh.
I really, really want. I love Appleton. I want to see him. Phoenix, do me a favor, bring him so I can see him in all his glory because he is definitely a mod that I've had on my like draft board every season, and I'm like, but there's something better. But I just want to see it do well, and I really want to see Phoenix do well because I mean, again, Phoenix is like our best friend. He is like always there
Yep.
when we're live. He's always the first one to ask questions. He's always the first one to give help and advice. He's always the first one to answer any like be our Google. He's literally our Google. Like we ask a question and Phoenix will find it out for us.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm really excited to see this. And this is coming from a guy who plays a lot of singles, and this man
Yep.
is doing great in a doubles league. And I mean, hats off to Phoenix. I definitely, I want to see it. I want to see everyone in playoffs make it all the way because I love the coaches that are in here because these teams are amazing. They've coached their team so well in a format that one I would say not a lot of people may have played ever if they only got
Mhm.
into Sword and Shield, and they are able to do all of these team strategies and team build. And it's just I'm super happy with the way the format has worked, and I'm so proud of Phoenix because God, he is a great battler and an even better person.
Yep. And here we go with the next team, and Kanto with the Philadelphia Politoads. And this is another scary team. Not gonna lie, the Rillaboom with a bunch of priority, the Raichu, you guys know what Raichu does. That Ninetales Arctovish is scary. Scary.
I've come up against it, and this is the tip. So my score hasn't changed because, I mean, he hasn't done any trades. So it's the
Yep.
same from week 1 than it is to week 7. I feel like Kanto hasn't really. We haven't seen the Vish
Yeah, that's true.
Ninetales combo like from the rip. Like he hasn't just thrown them in and gone go for it. Because that's what I mainly prep for. I mean, in my battle, he got a couple of power hacks, but I feel like I managed to pull it back. My team kind of really countered this team's in terms of like he wanted to use the Malma, and I had a Volcarona,
Yeah.
the Rillaboom, and the
Mhm.
Ninetales. Didn't really appreciate that as well, and I had a Giga Drain that he hadn't prepped for on the Arctivish. There's definitely holes, but Kanto does this every season, and I don't know how. He loses his first games and then just goes on a massive win streak. And it's like,
Yep.
right, Kanto, listen to me, my guy. Just win all the time.
We
Stop
have seen
making life
like
difficult.
some weird stuff with that Wish Cash landing
Hey,
fissures
we've seen
against
He
Phoenix.
did it for me. He did it for me. I love him. He did it for me. He said, click it, and he said, "I'll do it," and then it hit, and it was the best thing I've ever seen. It was the best thing
but
I've ever seen.
but the thing is, he did it again against another. Like it didn't
Yeah.
hit, but he still was using the Fisher Track because he's like, I mean, I don't really have a great move to send out here. It's like 30% chance,
just
and I get a
fissure,
1-hit
you know?
kill. Just throw it out there. I mean, yeah. I mean that Wish Cast is amazing, and like you said, man, Kanto just really kind of gets it near the end of the season. He kind of figures out his team because Kanto's doing so many other different battles. Like he's in another draft league. He's making you shoot Kami. He's climbing the ladder. I mean, he's balancing crazy formats. So I mean, obviously
Yeah.
he needed to take some time to kind of go back a couple generations with no gimmicks. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we really haven't seen the Arctifish Ninetales like lead in the beginning, and that's such a
No,
super
not at
powerful
all.
lead. So just imagine him doing it. He has the best, in my opinion, the best non restricted mon in Sword and Shield and Rillaboom. You can't count on a grassy surge, grassy glide combo just needing to do the last 35% of any Pokemon that you need to.
Yeah.
And the Wish Cash, man, and the Wigglytuff, man. Don't sleep on that Wigglytuff. It's scary, and I I feel like we haven't seen it. I feel like we're gonna see it at some point
I
because
agree.
Kanto's that kind of guy who's just he will throw caution to the wind. He'll hop in a battle after being in a completely different format. Like I'm gonna just goes through his entire box. Like he's got his mons like already pre-bred him. Just he's going through. It's like I'll take the other Jinx, or I'll take the other Wigglytuff. And I mean, God, I love Kanto. I cannot wait to see what he does because he when he catches fire, man, he he can go all the way. Feel like I've been
He's
saying
good.
that a lot,
He's
but
good. He's a super good battler.
I feel like this is like Kanto's time to shine if he maybe does lead maybe some more traditional strats. I feel like sometimes it's okay to go the more traditional route. Go the way that
Yeah,
kind of makes sense. Sometimes there's a reason why it works. If it's ain't broke, don't fix it.
exactly. All right. And then here we have our last team with King Token and the South Carolina Lux Rays. Oh my god, this guy has fixed his team and it's
Most
scary.
improved. Most improved coach.
Yep.
By far. And I just want to shout out Token for taking Garchomp to the all-time kill leader, joint kill leader with Excadrill.
Yep.
That's some feat. That's some feat. So it shows how much he's used the Garchomp. Like he hasn't come. I think he didn't make playoffs last season.
Nope.
He's made it this season.
Yeah.
And that Garchomp has still got 16 kills. But this team, me and Seb were looking at it just before. It's how do you prep for this? This is what Nick's team was last season. The resistances are just scattered across the map. You have got a -3 to ground, which is really nice. And then only one resistance to fairy. But other than that, your typings are like very limited, very limited. And he's done a massive job in prepping this team. I mean, I have flashbacks of Bisharp versus the Absolulians.
Bisharp, man. Not even
Gardevoir's great.
The Gardevoir or the Garchomp by themselves are already really good. and then you add everything else with Purloin, with the fake out prankster, fake tears, sunny day, rain dance, whatever he wants to do with it, you know. And it's just a scary team. It was really hard to prep against, and now with the wheezing as well.
Yeah, the wheezing's really good because the neutralizing gas is like his team doesn't rely on abilities. So
Yep.
the neutralizing gas actually really plays into his favor. Plus, he's got the cloister, and I will never live down the cloister sweep to me with Phoenix. It's like now I know how to just kill it. If you don't, it'll kill you, and it'll kill your whole team.
It will for sure. But no, congratulations on Token, man. He went pretty much last season on his side of the bracket, and then he brought it back all the way to 3rd place in his side of the bracket. So congratulations to Token, because he did a great job.
And a top man. Thank you for taking part.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. That concludes the whole power rankings. Let us know what you think. Let us know who's your prediction on who's gonna win, you know, this season 2. Will we take the trophy from Jake, or will he take it again? Look at it, just show it. There we go.
That's what you're fighting for right there, everyone. That's what you're fighting for right there.
But yeah, huge thanks for everyone who's been part of this. Stay tuned for new upcoming news of season 3 and finals day, because that's gonna be another really nice
can't wait.
Really nice day.
Finals day.
Yep,
it's gonna be fun. Thank you guys for an amazing regular season. It has been a fun one, and let's bring on playoffs. It's gonna it's gonna be so exciting.
Stay tuned.
One last congratulations to Josh for being our regular season champion.
That's true.
He smashed it all the way. Congrats to Josh. You didn't expect anything else.
But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
It's crunch time. It's crunch time, baby. See you all in playoffs.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.